Hello and welcome to a Remnant 2 build video. I'm going to be showing you guys my Regenerating Tank build. It's a lot of fun. It's all about being very durable, self-sustain with some regeneration, and just getting in the fight and staying in the fight. Now, I'm going to show you guys some gameplay after we talk about what I have going on. I'm going to be playing at the Nightmare difficulty to show you that you can use it at some of the higher levels, and then you know that you can also use it at Veteran and lower, whatever floats your boat. And the last piece is, there may be some pieces of the gear or setup that you don't have just because that's how Remnant 2 is. Everything's kind of random depending on what you find. So if you don't have something, just work with what you have. Try and stick to the spirit of the build. We're all about high damage resistance and regeneration. And it's also very possible that you'll have something that I don't have and will actually work better. So always keep an eye out for that. Alright, so the first part is our archetypes. I'm running the Challenger as our prime one and Medic as our secondary. This Challenger one is going to give us Die Hard prime perk, which is fantastic. It also has the close quarters to increase our damage to enemies who are close to us, intimidating presence so we can reduce the damage of our enemies. Power Lifter is going to help us out with some of our weight load and stamina costs. And then the Face of Danger is going to give us some stacks of bulwark and damage buff whenever we use a relic close to enemies. So there's a lot of good things happening here. A lot of how we actually deal damage is going to be based on being close, because the build isn't really built around doing damage. It's about taking it and staying in the fight. And then the Medic is pretty self-explanatory, right? If we're going to be regenerating, we want to be getting a lot of health back. Medic is a natural fit. It also just gives us a flat damage boost. It does some good team play. It also helps us with our gray health. You'll see some of our build is built around that. And then it helps with our relic speed and stuff too. Plus that triage is just fantastic. Extra 50% healing helps us all across the board. As far as the skills on either archetype, it kind of depends on what your setup is doing, like how you're playing and the situation that you're in. I typically run Juggernaut because I do a lot of melee damage. Plus, the Juggernaut skill gives us 3 stacks of bulwark, and with those 3 stacks of bulwark, it immediately puts us at that 80% maximum damage reduction, so that's really good. And then for Medic, I like to run the Healing Shield simply because it activates quickly. It puts up a shield so that we can keep our health where it's at and regenerate safely. But with most things, feel free to swap, mix and match, whatever you need depending on the situation. I have found that Remnant is really about using the right tool for the right situation. Now for our traits, there are 4 main ones that I use, and I'll do those first. After that, it's kind of whatever works best for you. Honestly, if I hadn't just spent a bunch of scrap, I would probably respec myself real quick and kind of swap out some points, but it does work with what I have going on. First up is Regrowth. You can put 10 points in there. That gives you 1.5 health regeneration per second. It's pretty solid, but you do have to get the Summoner archetype as well as reach level 10 with it in order to unlock this. But it is really nice because we want that regeneration. It's the name of the game. Next up is Bark Skin. You put another 10 points into that one. That's going to give you another 10% damage reduction. That's pretty key because we are pushing for that max of 80% damage reduction. You can get this in Yesha after talking to Major and answering some questions. And then we have Siphoner. This is going to give you lifesteal. You put 10 points into it and you get 3% lifesteal. It's really good because we're going to be trying to do a lot of damage. Well, doing a lot of constant damage. So as long as we are dealing damage, it's going to keep feeding us health to go on top of our regeneration and try and keep us in the fight. You can get this one on Nerud. I believe it was a Nerudian Facility, something like that. You're just going to want to look it up. Don't go off me. And then the last one is Vigor. It's just a standard trait. It has 3 points into it baseline with our archetype, so you just put 7 points into there to get it to rank 10. It's going to give you another 30 maximum health. It's really good because more health means you're further away from dying. After that, I put points into Endurance for a higher maximum stamina, so I can do more like dodge rolls or power attacks, like back to back to back. I would probably swap that out a little bit and put some other points into something else. And then to kind of go with that, I put 5 points into Recovery, giving me 15 stamina per second, which is pretty good. I don't think I need to go any higher. At that point, my stamina regenerates very quickly. And as long as you're really just doing some good stamina management, using this and this, like you could definitely move around some points out of them by just using your stamina well. And then last but not least, I put 10 points into Spirit. This gives me another 20% mod power generation. I just really like it. I like using my mods. They help to round out my build, help me with some damage or distance things, whatever the scenario is. So that's what I've got going on there. Now for our gear. Armor wise, I'm using the Loadout Mark 1 armor. I think it's the heaviest set in the game. It has huge amounts of defenses, nearly double the armor and double the weight of its counterparts in the heavy class. It also has a huge amount of resistances. The drawback is that it is extremely heavy. You can see that we are at a heavy weight, and that's only because we have an amulet on. Otherwise, we would be at ultra and flopping. So it does provide immense defense capabilities, but you are going to be trading off a lot of weight stuff. So depending on what you want to roll with, you could go with any of the other heavy armors and then make your adjustments accordingly. For the relic, I'm running the Ruined Heart right now. It gives you an extra 5.8 health regeneration and generates mod power. The mod power generation is just nice, and the health regeneration is just good as well. The bad thing with it is if you get really low, it's not going to immediately save you from death, but we do have Die Hard, and we also have our medic skill to cover us for that. So another good choice you could try is a Crystal Heart. This one's going to regenerate 115% of your maximum health over 10 seconds. It's a lot of health over 10 seconds. You run that bad boy, you're probably not going to die. If you die, there's some really nasty stuff happening. The other part of it is that movement speed is reduced by 50%, and then your incoming damage is reduced by 25%, lasting for 10 seconds. So because we're already so high on our damage reduction, that 25% isn't really going to do a lot for us. But if you were doing something with some slightly lighter armor and a little bit lower damage reduction, you could totally utilize some portion of this. But those are my two go-to relics to use. Depending on what you have, maybe roll with something else. A fun choice could be this one, the Resonating Heart. On use, you regenerate about half of your health over 5 seconds, but if you have any extra healing, if it goes over your maximum health, it gets doubled and awarded over the next 20 seconds. So you could get a long 20 seconds of extra regeneration. And then for the mods that I've put into my relic, really the two I think you should probably... Oh wait, one of them is wrong. Let's change that. Okay, so the two mods on the relic that I think you should definitely use for this setup is a gray health rate. So that's going to give you, like what we have right now, nearly 7 health per second on our gray health, which is huge. Especially when you look at some of our other rings, it's going to be very impressive. After that, we've got the just healing effectiveness, increased healing, man. It's just helps us out. And then the third one, plug in whatever you want to use. I took an attack speed one. It's whatever works best for you. Amulets and rings. I'm running the Twisted Idol. This increases our armor effectiveness by 30% and reduces encumbrance by 15%. I'm mostly taking it because I am using the Loadout armor. It's so heavy that if I don't have this amulet on, I'm going to flop. I don't actually roll. And flopping, you can avoid stuff, but the recovery is so slow and it costs so much stamina. It's pretty brutal. In addition, this idol is adding another 13% to our damage reduction. So if you look at our armor and total damage reduction right here, 58 and 68, take it off, 45, 55. It's a very big chunk of damage reduction. Next up, we have the Ring of Grace. This one's just very solid. We're going to be taking damage, so when we take damage, we're going to regenerate 10% of our maximum HP over 10 seconds. I found it's just a good, solid extra bit of regeneration. I like it a lot. Then we have the Reserve Boosting Gem. This is one I've been swapping around a little bit, this slot here. This one gives us more regeneration, 0.3 generally, and then when you drop to 50%, it boosts it up to 2 per second. So it is pretty nice. It helps to keep you topped off. Solid choice. The last two work really well together. The Ring of Deflection, direct damage against a wearer, has a chance to become entirely gray health. So you can take a big hit and just watch all of it turn into gray health. And with all the gray health regeneration we have, using the mod on our relic and the Dread font, increasing our gray health regeneration by 2, that health is going to come back very quickly on top of the other regeneration that we have, helping to keep us topped off and in the fight. One other ring I would like to mention that I have been using a lot, and I just recently kind of swapped it for that other healing ring, is a Hardcore Metal Band. Taking damage is going to add a stack of Bulwark. Now, Bulwark does increase your damage reduction. The only reason I'm not taking this one is once we get 3 stacks of Bulwark, we have an extra 15% damage reduction, which puts us over the 80% maximum. Now, using a relic next to an enemy or our Juggernaut ability does give us a stack of Bulwark, so after a certain point, this metal band becomes just extra. It's not actually doing anything. It does cover us when we're not using those skills and ability like traits. But I think for now, I'm just going to run with a straight regeneration or something else. Work with what you have. The weapons, they don't really matter. This build isn't about the weapons. Use what you have upgraded, comfortable with, whatever your playstyle is. I will say that I am running the Atom Smasher. When you use a charged melee attack with this hammer, it's going to increase your attack speed. And going with that, it has a shield breaker mutator, so that anytime we make an attack, we gain a shield for 3% of our maximum health, up to 30%. It works really well because if I'm in there and I like to get in and start just swinging the hammer on enemies, getting a shield helps to buffer our health just a little bit so it can regenerate without it actually taking more damage. It's worked pretty well for me. Do whatever is best for you. And with that, let's go ahead and take it out for a spin. Alright, so we find ourselves in the dormant Nerudian Facility. See if we can't give you guys a good showcase of the build. I'm using the Bulldog shotgun. It comes with the Challenger class at the start. It's pretty solid. It's done me really good. And I'm using the Starshot pistol. It's a fantastic pistol. The thing's really cool. Oh. Now, as I mentioned before, this build is all about surviving. The damage isn't bad, right? Though I don't have anything to really compare it to. The biggest thing you need to play around with is how you're getting your damage boost, which is by getting close to enemies and then utilizing, just good gunplay. All right, and the Juggernaut is going to increase our melee damage, so that is the other big boost. So we're gonna have to move quickly through here. We've got about 6 minutes to clear this thing. Let's go left. I saw some guys moving. Running. Here we go. Bunch of guys on the left. There's a big nasty one there. Just using careful gunplay. See, we're close. We're getting that extra damage. Now we took a hit there, and look how quickly we're regenerating. Even those things do big nasty hits, but look at us, like no danger. Like unless we were to continuously keep taking hits, we are in no threat. And even then, right, careful use of your abilities and your relics and stuff is going to mitigate any problems you have there. So even there, we're really close to death. We still have the Die Hard to rely on, and we're already back up to 50% health. We don't even have to use a relic. Anybody else, you would not want to do that. You can't do it. You would die. And then, if you didn't, you would have to use some resources, some precious, limited resources, in order to top yourself back up and keep in the fight.
Warning. Virulent life form
Yeah, I know.
detected.
Where are they at? Big empty stretches, man. Now, I am using the Helix rockets on my shotgun as well. I like it because it adds a little bit of extra range shot, kind of like that. The shotgun isn't super great at the distance, so having that to do things works out pretty well for me. Blow them up with a barrel. Now we're going to use this one right here. Blow up both of them, just like that. The Starshot mod power is really good. Typically, I like to use the full charge up against an elite because it does so much damage. So definitely, whenever you're looking at the build and the equipment you want to use, look at the things that you are doing well with, things that you're struggling with, and how you play, and what you can plug in there to cover your weaknesses. So like for our setup right now, damage can be a little bit of a struggle, so using some very powerful damage mods works out pretty well. Though if you're going to use something like the Rampage skill from the Challenger, you could run a good damage boost mod on your gun, something like the corrosive rounds or fire rounds, and really run off of that. So you're doing a lot of constant gun damage with lots of fast reload speed and fire rates. We'll keep circling around. We've got about 3 minutes left. A Tome of Knowledge that doesn't do anything for me. Does that somehow secretly get turned into scrap or some other resource? Because, my trait points are maxed out. Just what happens then? Like, am I getting some other currency I'm not aware of? I also missed a chest back there, but I don't want to run out the clock. So, there's dudes on the right, dudes on the left. Now, understand how your build works. We do close range. We're not very good at distance. So, work around the corners. Force them to come to you and in a line if you can. That's going to make you a lot stronger and have a lot safer of a time using the pistol at a distance, right? Because it has a little bit of a better consistent damage at range than our shotgun. Now these guys are melee, so they're going to come into us, which allows us to utilize our shotgun. We're going to roll through there, come in with a charge attack. That's going to boost our attack speed. And look, see, we took that damage, and look, we're just fine. We're already almost at max. Even taking that hit is fine as well. Oh, we took a Die Hard. I guess because when he went down, he kind of gooped all over us. And now we've got an elite. So we're going to use our Juggernaut now. It's going to give him damage reduction and increase our damage reduction. Or it's going to weaken his damage. And look how we're just chunking him. We go in hard, we're in no danger of dying because we're just stealing life back. We're getting shields from the auto attacks. We're regenerating. Like, there's no threat to us at all. It's solid. It's just solid. I really like it a lot. It has worked pretty well in team play as well when I've been playing with my friend. The biggest thing you need to keep in mind, when you play at veteran difficulty and lower, you're so durable and the damage in there is so much lower than on Nightmare and Apocalypse that you really can just ignore all kinds of mechanics. And if you do that, you get used to it, and the hard part becomes not trying to ignore everything, because on the higher difficulties the damage is just too high to do that. Yeah, so as you like get into the higher difficulties, you really have to like understand that yes, while we are incredibly durable, you're not invincible. Like, you still take a lot of damage. I mean, you can see it, right? Yeah, I'm reducing it by a lot and wearing less armor. It could possibly be one-shotting another character, but I can't take like 2 hits like that in a row. So you do have to be very careful. You do need to utilize your roll to avoid some mechanics, especially in boss fights, and just utilize cover and good gameplay in order to take this up to the next level. On top of that is also just using your abilities correctly. Die Hard allows you to cover you some mistakes. I didn't use my shield at all in that scenario. I probably should have, like when I was going in pretty hard against those guys that like explode when they die. Use your abilities, man. On the harder difficulties, you have to make sure you're using all of your cooldowns, sometimes consumables, whatever you have to. Let's go ahead and I'll try and get us to a boss fight, show you guys it in just a good, solid boss fight. Alright, so slight spoiler for one of the final bosses in Nerud if you don't want to see it, but here we go. Let's go ahead and move on in there and get ourselves going.
You will join us, small one, no matter the form.
He wanted to eat me. I told him no. Alright, here we go. So I have swapped to the Rampage skill. We're going to start off with a Star Shot, just like that. Dodging some projectiles, so that's why we want a good roll, because you can't always avoid the mechanics. Watching out for charging, that's right. Ooh, still clipped this though, but look, we're going to be regenerating. Dodging backwards. Alright, we're going to activate Rampage, followed by, ooh, God. Dodge again, followed by Hot Shot, and then start unloading. We can actually get rid of this dude. Moving over. Boom, boom, boom. Keep unloading. There we go. Reloading quickly. You can see we can take some of those hits, and we're going to be just fine. All that extra damage. We've got a few seconds left. Almost got our Rampage all the way maxed out. We're going to shield. That way we can kind of ignore some of those hits and mechanics. There we go. Keep going, keep going. Dodging backwards to take out some of them a little bit. It's going to drop us some ammo. Rolling backwards. Reloaded. We've got a couple seconds left on our Berserk. We need to make sure we use our Relic now. That's going to give us some Bulwark for damage reduction. Dodging backwards again. One more. Boom. Oh, I messed up. I was a little slow. Going in with some melee since he is right next to us. Doing some solid damage. Good shockwave. Nope. Ouchies. Big hits. Okay, look how quickly we regenerate them because he wasn't immediately on us. I need to stay away from that. Ooh, that was close. We're going to full charge attack and just start going in with melee, giving us some shield. Dodge roll right to avoid that shockwave. That might have been death. Who knows? He did kick us. That was a little painful. Look how quickly we come back, and we're able to keep ourselves topped off. Ooh, that's different. Dodging away. Dodging away. I'm low on stamina. Dodging away. We might use our Die Hard here. That's okay. We're going to swap to the Star Shot. Go ahead and hit him right there. Start using that a little bit. Dodge roll now. A little too early. Go ahead and use another Relic. That's going to give us more regen. He wiped us out there. I should have tried to back up again. But you can see there's some of the strengths and you can see some of the weaknesses, right? We are very durable, but you can't ignore all the mechanics. You have to still play around with what the boss is doing. We're going to activate this. Oh, see, that roll is deadly, man. Gotta make sure we have a distance from him. He is very dangerous when close range. Oop, good dodge. 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 Nice. Keep unloading. Get rid of that thing. Dodge roll. Oh, we messed it up. But look how much defense we have. We're doing okay. He rolled away from there. That's fine. He almost got us there, but we avoided it. Come on, come on. Good throw. Good roll. Almost got the full stacks of Berserk. There it is. Dodging around. We're going to use a shield now to go ahead and try and avoid some of that damage rolling out of it. Get rid of those things off of us. And then start shooting him some more. Now. Good. We got the timing right that time. Alright. Keep unloading a little bit. Dodge rolling. Good. We need to go ahead and activate a relic now. That'll keep us topped off while increasing some mod power. Give us some bulwark as well. We got to be careful, right? Because we don't have that, oh, I caught myself on fire there. That's really a problem. That's alright. We're okay. Now we need to use another one. Keep getting more regen and mod power. Here we go. Hit him with another one. Oh, I messed it up. Oh, I'm going to die. Maybe I'm not. Oh, dude, look at that. We took that hit. No problem. Alright, go ahead and stay carefully back a little bit. Oh, is he going to do those things? I think I can probably shoot them in midair, right? Yep. Problem. We're going to activate this. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to charge in. Now. Oh, still too early again. I can't get that timing right. Back out. I knew better. That roll is deadly, dude. Why won't that hit him? Oh, no. It's not fair. Why doesn't the star shot hit those projectiles? That's not... That doesn't feel right. Nothing. You ain't got nothing. Oh, he chomped us. Oh, I might be okay. Look at all that gray health. Yeah, we're totally okay. We're going to shield as soon as we get up. Just like that. Kind of ruined our Berserker, but that's going to happen, I guess. Dodging, dodging. Oh. Dodge back. Finish this dude. He's going to come and chomp us. Ooh, big slam. We managed to dodge it. Reload some of this. Woohoo, that was real close. Go ahead and use this to get some of our mod power back. Switching over to the pistol so we can start building up our big bang attack. Look how we can just take some of those hits and not be too worried about it, right? Doing some goop, man. I don't appreciate that. There we go. Keep unloading, keep unloading. There we go. Okay, we need to switch to shotgun because for some reason the star shot just doesn't seem to hit those things. There we go. Nice. Reload it now. Ah, perfect. Need to get back and away from him. Alright, unload hot shot. Dodge roll that. We were a little early. That's okay. Dodge that thing. Dodge that thing. Nice. Keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Gonna get this reloaded as well. Go ahead and hit him with one of the big bang shots. Go into the melee with him while trying to avoid some of his projectiles. I was a little slow on the dodge there. It was okay. What's he gonna do now? We need to reload our shotgun in case he decides to do a freaking more of those little mind blast ball things. Alright, reload it now. Dodge roll. Come on, keep reloading. There we go. Let's activate this now. Go ahead and swap to this. 1, 2, do those count? I hope so. Chop through them. It's going to charge through. There's a good dodge. We need to move on to the other side. Reload it quickly. We're going to activate our relic as well to give us that mod power and damage and reduction. Just start unloading full power. Come on, keep going. Use it now. Reloads our gun by doing that. There we go. Rampage is going to avoid some of the damage that he throws at us. We are suppressed and that stinks. We're going to get rid of some of them so that they are not being a problem anymore. Oh, I don't know what that does when he eats them. We're doing a ton of damage though. Staying away from that. We still have our diehard, which is great. 1, 2. Okay, we need to reload it. Dodging. Dodging. We're going to shield now. Make sure we don't go down. This needs to get reloaded if possible. Come on. And go into this one. It's going to charge us. Now. Okay, move away. What's up, child? Almost there. Here comes a big slam. Roll forward. Big bang shot. Didn't hit us. That's good. Sometimes I catch myself in friendly fire, which is a problem. We're going to circle Y to avoid those things. Almost got him here. There we dodge roll that thing. He's going to charge in. Roll. Make sure we're on the backside so he doesn't roll on us. Howie, he did a big swipe. That's a lot of damage. We're going to use our relic now to give us more regen, damage reduction, as well as mod power. I need to move back. Yeah, see, he was going to try and do something to us there. That would have been a real jerky move. Dodge roll that. Dodge roll that. Let's go ahead and hit him with one of these. We got to reload our shotgun so we can actually deal with these things correctly. So you can just kind of strafe them, it seems. We can't afford to be taking too many hits. We're going to hit him with a melee, gets us a shield, gets us a little bit of lifesteal as well. Move quickly onto this side so we can roll us. Drop that thing. Alright, keep strafing around. Play it safe, no need to be too aggressive. Here's our hot shots. It should be enough to drop him. Rolling that. Come on. There we go. Ooh. Nice. Oh my goodness, there's a fly on me. Ah. Yeah, there you have it, though. It took us a few tries there. I don't know. I don't think that's a build problem. I think regardless of what I would have been using, I probably would have taken me several tries to do. I hadn't done that fight specifically before. I fought a different version of him. So, yeah. But that's the power of it. I mean, I'll make sure I have some clips in there. I mean, he chomped us and then was chewing us in the air. And I think that's supposed to be like a death sentence, basically. And we didn't die. Like, we had so much regeneration, we could go through that. That's what's so good about this build, is you can make mistakes and be okay. And you can also just lean into it. Lean into being aggressive, taking the hits and the regeneration, and just play off of that. It's fantastic. I highly recommend the build. It's super satisfying to just be able to regenerate so much. Very satisfying. I super recommend it. And especially if you do struggle with dealing with some of the mechanics, this might be a good setup for you, is to just be able to just take hits and make mistakes and be okay, and especially at the lower difficulties, veteran and survivor mode. You just don't take nearly enough damage for anything to really be a threat. I kind of wish I'd showed you the, right, because we were still using the Ruined Heart. I kind of wish I had showed you what the Crystal Heart could do, because the sheer amount of regeneration you can get on those 10 seconds is just bonkers. On top of all the other bits that you have, it's incredible. But that's it. That's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give the build a try if you want. Tell me what you think about it. If you've done anything similar, what you might change, try different things. There are a number of rings that I do like to swap out and around. Like sometimes if I'm not really feeling the gray health kind of thing, I'll swap those out for some shield things, or maybe even if I'm trying to lean really hard into a mod power thing, you can run yourself the encrypted ring, where using a mod, it gives you 10% health regeneration, stacking up to 30 seconds. And then you could run the dense silicone ring, so that 200% of your health regeneration becomes mod power. We've got so much health regeneration that's going to, over the course of fighting, give you a lot of mod power. It doesn't look like a lot when you're watching it increase, but you got to keep in mind that's extra mod power you wouldn't have had before. And by getting your mods regenerated quickly, you can use them more, so you get more health regeneration, which feeds back into that ring. It's a really good combination. I'm a fan of it. It's fun. There's a lot of little minor tweaks you can do with it, as long as you keep the general idea kind of the same. Lots of armor for damage reduction. Go for that 80% max, and then lots of health regeneration. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it whenever anybody checks it out. So take care, everybody.